You stand in a dark room lit only by a small number of candles. Symbols and shapes drawn in blood litter the floor in front of and around you. You and other cloaked figures stand in a circle as your leader stands in the centre, looming over one of your friends. You see your compatriots' fur, their snouts, their hooves poking out of their hoods and sleeves. You see the leader's fleece peeking out at the sides. You watch as the leader raises a knife and stabs it down into your friend's body, killing him instantly. But you do not feel sad. You feel joy, because you are in a cult. Welcome back to Other Pixel Games. I'm James, and today we're talking about Cult of the Lamb. Back in 2022, Cult of the Lamb by Massive Monster leapt onto the scene with its cute aesthetic and psychotic theme, and it did incredibly well. Not just with roguelike fans, but with people who never would have played that type of game. Today, we're going to take a look at Cult of the Lamb and break down what it did to change the game and do so well. You begin Cult of the Lamb where any great story starts, at the death of the main character. Having been captured by the cultists and followers of the four villainous gods of the game, you, an innocent lamb, last of your kind, are to be sacrificed to avoid a prophecy to bring the chained god back from below. Unfortunately for the gods, in trying to avoid their fate, they have brought it forth, as, in your death, you are sent to the same god they hoped never to see risen again. It bestows you with its ancient power, and you are thrust back into the land of the living to take on those cultists who had just seen you killed. You escape the area, killing all in your path. You meet the god's previous head cultist and you rescue another innocent soul from the clutches of the foul four gods. This introduction to the game is one of the best intros that I've ever experienced. Not only does it teach you all of the main points of gameplay that you'll need to fight through the levels of Cult of the Lamb, from combat and chests to map exploration, and it introduces us to the idea of followers, but it also instills in you a sense of righteousness, a thirst for revenge against these gods and their followers, for all you know about them is that they just killed you. After escaping, we're taken to a large plot of land where we'll be creating our cult. On the advice of the former champion Ratau, we immediately indoctrinate the innocent we saved into the cult and put him to work gathering resources in order to build things. It's late and our followers need to eat, so we collect berries, wood and stone, build a cooking fire and make some food before our associate, Ratau, returns and teaches us how to gather more followers, because we're going to need them. Thus we complete the main stages of the game's onboarding. We have a basic understanding of all the elements of the game, from the combat loop that we learned about in the intro to the town building loop that we've just learned about. We don't know yet how important each section will be, but we're already getting hints of how the two link together. You go to the combat zone and find followers, money and other resources to bring back to the town building where you use them. Even from here you can infer that at some point things that you do in town will affect the things that you do when you're fighting as well. With newfound power and a cult to create, we venture back into the lands owned by the evil gods to gather new followers, gold, and whatever else we might need. The lands of the old gods are dangerous and we only have so much life, but we power through, destroying almost everything in our path. The creatures that live there, the enemy cultists who attack us, even the grass and the rocks. The only things that we don't destroy are the strange but friendly people we meet along the way. A card reader helped us grow stronger, and a salesman offered us ways to build on what we have. Our first outing since we began our journey sets us against the first of the four gods, and we quickly bump into them when we kill their followers. But that's fine, they were always going to find us eventually. Though they claim that they're superior to me, that there's nothing I can do, all they do is send a minion at me. A minion that is admittedly more powerful than the others I've faced. But I dash it aside all the same. In the first run of the game you learn a ton. You learn about the life system, you learn about one-run upgrades, we use the progress map for the first time and start to understand the choices we have to make as we progress through the run. We also learn that to progress through the game and unlock new locations, we need more followers. With all the resources and followers we found on our journey into the lands of the old faith, our cult has grown. We've built a monument to me and our God. Our followers worship it and us, giving us new strengths. We build a temple where all may hear our voice, and those who believe can come and help us to grow more powerful. From here, upon this pulpit from which we preach the shackled God's gospel, we will go forth and grow strong enough to defeat all other gods. From here we will charge forward into the lands of the old faith and grow the cult of the Lamb. Now we see how the town plays into the combat sections. Through the buildings we create here, we grow stronger. With this first ritual, we gain an extra half heart, allowing us to take another hit. Other buildings that we earn through devotion will help in other ways, offering temporary buffs or new options. At this point, you know enough about the game to keep playing or drop off, but even now, for many people, it's hooked you. So what is it that makes this game so special? There are tons of roguelike third-person shooters and hack-and-slash games out there with a variety of art styles, from the cartoony pixel art of Enter the Gungeon to the sleek animations of the Hades franchise. There are also roguelikes with really fun themes. Hades' Greek mythology theme is a great example. It's familiar enough that people are immediately drawn to it, and foreign enough that it's easy to get sucked into the aspects that are new. But few others managed to find a new audience the way Cult of the Lamb did. Cult of the Lamb has a great art style, with its fun and cartoony little anthropomorphized animals, and it has a really fun and creative theme in starting a cult. It also has a fun and engaging story that almost feels relatable despite the cult and sacrifice elements. And while I think that all of these things contributed to the game's popularity, I actually believe that what truly allowed them to tap into new markets was their dual game loop. All games have a loop, even if it's as simple as play the level, return to the menu, play the next level, and you can see loops at various levels of depth of the game. There's an inner loop that could be based on the gameplay itself. Outriders by People Can Fly have a very clear combat loop of get hurt by an enemy, shoot the enemy to damage them and heal, repeat until the enemies are dead and move to the next location. But there's also the outer loop of a game, or the meta loop. For Hades, the meta loop is, you play a run of the game, you collect darkness, gemstones and keys, then when you die and return to the underworld, you spend them all and go straight back out to do another run and get a little stronger. Most games really only have a single meta loop, with the occasional divergence for a little variety, like being sent on a story mission or being given a minigame as a one-off. Cult of the Lamb, however, is different in that they have two metagame loops that feed into each other. It has the normal roguelike game, and on top of that, it's got a town building game. And not just a, you now have a town, pay 100 gold and now you have a shop in the shop location style of base building, but a full-on town builder where you collect citizens, cultists, and you have to accommodate their needs. Build beds, build toilets, feed them. You also build places that allow you to do other things such as perform rituals or earn devotion through their prayers. And you can place all the buildings wherever you want, but you still have to spend time in each loop keeping the people happy, and they will tell you when they're not happy. So for Cult of the Lamb, the loop is, you go on a run where you kill enemies, collect resources and followers, beat the run or die, and return to the town where you use the resources and followers to build new buildings and earn new rewards. You spend time checking on your followers, you feed them, fulfill their needs by fixing their problems with the town or each other, then when everything is doing well, you return back to the lands of the old faith to do it all over again. It doesn't sound like much, but I think that this dual loop system for a game like Cult of the Lamb, and the town builder aspect specifically, is a revolution. A breath of fresh air and a reason that people who aren't hardcore can binge this game. What happens to most players who don't play this type of game very much when they try it out and start to die a lot after the tutorial is that they get frustrated. 1 or 2 deaths? Fair enough, I'm new to the genre, they say. But 4 or 5 or 10 or 20? And it's all they're doing? They go in, they fight, they die, they go in, they fight, they die at infinitum. It's frustrating and it causes people to quit. But that doesn't really happen with Cult. At least not in the same way. And that's because after losing a run and coming back, they have a bunch of time to calm down. They might still get back to town and be ready to call it quits, but then they'll see that one of their cultists is sick, so they send them to bed and make them some food. They'll go see if there's a reason the cultist was sick. Oh, It's because the toilets are backed up, so they clean those out. Then they'll remember, oh right, we're able to do another sermon, so they go and do that real quick and, oh look, the sermon gave them another heart. Well, now they won't die so easily, and it's not like they're going anywhere, plus they've calmed down now. Maybe they'll do another run. Not a lot of players can handle high octane action constantly. It's why most games give you lows and highs, bring you up for a big encounter then back down to chill, allow your heart to settle. With that in mind, having a peaceful, cozy game attached to a hectic dungeon crawler makes all the sense in the world. It's the perfect balance of high octane challenging fights mixed with slow paced cozy crafting, giving the player those highs and lows. Plus the slowdown period could have been anything, but I think that making it a town builder was a stroke of genius in bringing in new audiences. It allowed people to express themselves and show creativity that is impossible to experience in other games of its ilk. Which all begs the question, what did I, and what can you take away from all this? There are plenty of lessons to learn from Cult of the Lamb, even beyond the things that we talked about here. There's its integration with Twitch that made it a great game for streaming. There's the ability to customize your followers, giving you more ways to express yourself. I didn't even mention the dice game that you can play after you finish the onboarding, and how it offers a necessary respite from the core loop when you're looking to change things up. But if we're going to focus on just what we talked about in this video, then the main thing to take away from this is that you should remember to consider your player's emotional state at each stage of the game loop. I'm sure that you were thinking that I was going to suggest making dual loops or even village builders in every game, but as powerful as I think that was for Cult of the Lamb, it's not the best solution for every game, nor every situation. The obvious problem with that advice is, what if you're already making a village builder? Do you have a village builder that has a secondary village? No, of course not. That would be silly, I think. Anyway, no. I don't think that what we take away from this is that you need to add a village builder or a dual loop. It's that you need to understand what the player is feeling throughout the game. It's not enough just to say that your game is exciting and fast-paced without considering how that will make the player feel. If you have an up-feeling game like that, you have to understand that the player cannot maintain that level of high forever, so you have to find opportunities to bring them back down so that they can relax. Equally, if your game is cozy and low intensity, then you might want to find a way to raise that energy once in a while to keep the player engaged. That doesn't necessarily mean adding combat like Stardew Valley. Your cozy high could be more emotional and narrative with an interesting interactive story beat, or it could be the opportunity to be creative with a decoration system. Games like Animal Crossing manage this by giving you dozens of systems to interact with and letting you discover new rare things every now and then. In Cult of the Lamb's case, they looked at their game and other dungeon crawling roguelites, and they saw the player's energy was always high intensity. It was always on the edge, and because of that, players were always at risk of falling off, so they gave them a way to climb down. And that, in my opinion, is why Cult of the Lamb tapped into new markets and did so well. Thanks for watching. That was a game dev opinion piece. Did you play Cult of the Lamb? Are there any other games that you think handle player emotions well? Let me know in the comments. If you liked this medium dive into Cult of the Lamb, please like, comment and subscribe so that I know to keep making more things like it.